Welcome to episode 24 of Pineapples and Thorns. I'm Kat, and with me I have Peter
3 stars for the good guys.
and Fado.
Sometimes 1, often 2 stars for the good guys.
2 stars win wars.
So I've heard.
Call back to Molt.
How are you guys tonight?
Fado, you go.
All right, I'm dandy. It's been a weekend of hockey and clashing and not sleeping. So, but I'm back at my home base and I'm ready to face the week. Got a holiday tomorrow, so I'm excited. It's kind of like another Saturday.
Oh, what is the holiday? President's Day tomorrow?
It's President's Day,
Okay.
indeed.
Yes. I also have a holiday tomorrow. It is Family Day, although my family has plans, so I will just be clashing. How about you, Kat?
It's a holiday here as well. Here we call it Louis Riel Day in honor of the founder of Manitoba. But people just spend time with their family and shoveling out from the latest blizzard. So
Yeah, that was an awesome picture you posted of the sidewalk clearer that just stopped, gave up, went home.
yeah, that's pretty much the story of our winter here. It's been a little bit of a crazy week. Peter, you want to dive in on that?
The first thing that is near and dear to my heart is Red Thorn's 500th win. Yes, we matched a 50v50 versus a clan called Civil Engineer. We managed to win with 134 out of a possible 150 stars to only 104 for the engineers. It was a really great showing from the friends and members of Red Thorn.
And I'm going to say sorry, and Kat, you're going to agree with me. We're sorry we couldn't get more people involved.
Mm-hmm.
Red Thorn is living the full clan life. You know, we're lobbying every day for 75 for your clan, so you can have some friends in.
Yeah, definitely need larger clan size. Please, Supercell, listen.
So other congratulations out to Phantom Zone. They got their win 500.
Woohoo!
Dark Sector is slowly approaching their 400th win. Last I checked, they were at win 392, so
Awesome.
likely a win this weekend sometime. So they're going to be maybe 1 or 2 weeks away from, I guess at least 2 weeks away, 2 weeks away from pushing for 400. And I have an account over in Sadudular, and they are winning right now, 137 to 130, also going for their 500th win, with just under an hour left in that war. So I might get to update before we finish off, but we'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah. What else have we got going? Oh, Mini Mondays.
Yeah, that's doing really great.
I've been holding up the bottom of the map with my Town Hall 8.
And what is that one named?
That is Heal the Grass.
Excellent name.
I have pushed the button, so I'm probably going to miss this week. Although I already have a level 8 queen, they have made the Dark Elixir grind very, very, very much easier at Town Hall 9, from what I recall. So
that's amazing.
Yep. But it's a lot of fun. It takes a little while to match there sometimes. Almost as bad as that CWL I spun that 1 month.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah. So anybody with a Town Hall 7 to Town Hall 11 that just wants to war with their little accounts, come on over to Kent Greenhouse on Mondays.
Yep.
You usually spin about what time, Kat? 4 o'clock?
Yeah, we've been spinning a little bit earlier because it strangely, it takes forever to match.
Yeah, it's got to just be so many heavy accounts, and it's not running any heavies. It's taking a little longer.
Yeah. But we do eventually match, and it's a lot of fun to hit with the lower town halls again.
Yeah, 1 week I ended up, as a Town Hall 7, I only had a Town Hall 8 to hit, and it's a stiff, that's hard competition. But it was, it's fun just to throw the troops down there. It's so much less complicated. I told you I was going to try and learn Lalo, so that's still my goal. I haven't even unlocked the Hound yet in the barracks, so I'm still working on it.
Maybe I should work on that on my 9 as well.
Yeah, I mean, just that seems to be what the pros like to use, so.
Yeah.
What else have we done? Oh, the Heartbreaker, the Valentine's Day War, the Heartbreaker Wallbreaker War. Were you in that one, Fado?
No, I'm busy breaking hearts in the real life, Peter.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I just needed to go easy on the community at large.
It was a really fun war. We had a
was.
couple of special troop requirements, some of the ladies of Clash, super archers, healers, regular archers, witches, Valkyries, and of course, and then a wall breaker. And course, I'm going to shout out my buddy, Miss P, right now and say she might have forgotten the wall breaker on her first attack. But that's okay. C-Note corrected me. I shouldn't tell ladies how to fight their fights. So
That's right. We don't talk about that.
And good old Mords did the stream for us there
Mm-hmm.
for CFF. And he was just on coffee and Coke. So it was maybe a little more tame, but he gave us maybe it was 4 or 5 hours of his time. So that was really great stream.
Yeah, always appreciate him doing that.
Absolutely. What else? Oh, the upcoming events. Size doesn't matter. Following on the of our mini Monday idea, we're going to run a smaller alt account, I guess, maybe, war. I don't have the details in front of me. Kat, do you know those ones?
It's, I believe, Town Hall 7 to 12.
And we're just going to spin a random and see what we get.
Yep.
And that is next weekend?
Yes, February 25th, I believe it is.
Yeah, so that should be another fun occasion.
Yes.
What else we got coming? Oh, I know. I'm not sure if you're involved in this one, but the Coke versus Pepsi war, the C2J guys, they would like a once and for all, what is better? I have joined on Team Coke.
Woohoo.
And I have... okay, good. And I have offered C-Note, because his initial starts with C, so, he's kind of Coke. So I said, if his team wins, if my team wins, he's going to change his Discord name for a month to Coke Note. And if his team wins, and because of course my name starts with P, I'm going to change it to Pepsi W67 for the month. So that's awesome. Just a little bit of fun. I think I scared him when I said we'll do a name change. I think he thought in game, and he came back with me. What are we going to trade tattoos here? What's going on? So no, just lighthearted stuff.
I was going to say there's been a ton of interest. It's really got everybody fired up.
Well, sure. I mean, there's probably a lot of interest for people clamoring to be a part of the Coke team. With the Super Bowl just went running or Pepsi ran away from the Super Bowl halftime show. They're no longer sponsoring it, because, they see what kind of, ne'er-do-wells and losers they're aligned with. And they just, they know that Coke is it.
And I just finished watching the Coke, the Coke Zero Daytona 500. So, yeah, just keep plugging Coke.
Coke's taking over.
And then the last thing C2J is running is they're trying to get involved with the 5v5, the All Town Hall 14 Rapid Wars. Currently, they have 4 teams of 5 players plus a sub, and they're going to set up, 2 or 3 hours, or maybe 3 or 4 hours. I think it's 3 or 4 hours on one day, and we'll all be online together. We'll do head-to-head, a round robin basically against those teams. So that should be very much more like the qualifiers, the pros get to do. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because it's everybody has a, first attack must go in at this time, second at this time. So it should be worth a lot of laughs to watch us doing this.
That's right.
Yeah, I usually put more time into my sketches than the entire war. The duration of one of these wars is what, 45 minutes or an hour?
Probably less than that, yeah.
My sketching and anxiety takes a lot longer than that to work out, so it's going to be a real show should I take part.
Well, you're on the team, so you're in.
Yeah, and we're going to resurrect the basically the Yakima Unicorn team, except we're going with a new name. Shall we tell them what it is?
Yep.
It is Cat Scratch Fever.
That's fado'd's creation.
Yeah.
Credit where credit is due.
Well, really, Ted Nugent started the whole movement back about 50 years ago, and Ted is a proud Michigander, as I am now. So yes, it's really a tip of the cap to the Motor City Madman.
But I don't think he knew our cat. He would have come up with a bigger song name and then just that.
Well, no, he saw her coming from a distance.
That's it.
And ran the other way.
I had a quick talk with Carl about this. So he's already got his 4 teams. But he said if he got another 4 teams, he could run, kind of an A bracket, B bracket, or left and right bracket, and then some kind of crossover. So he's not ruling it out. He's hoping this one runs kind of smoothly. But if you're interested, get over in the C2J server, let Carl know that you are interested, and show him some love.
Yeah, definitely.
We apologize in advance to our ever-growing Chinese fan base that they likely won't be able to take part of that tournament, but that was not our doing. Our apologies.
You're right. I think that's all the CFF news I have.
Well, why don't we talk a little bit about some of the training sessions that are happening over in Redthorn, and some of our people are taking part in other ones?
Can I lead that? I'll
Sure.
lead that. So
Yeah.
Redthorn has acquired some players from Unholy Cronuts, and we had hoped to do a podcast with those guys, kind of an interview thing. And one of now Redthorn's members, his name is Saul. He has organized pro training sessions. Now I haven't been involved yet; they've been at kind of crummy times for me. But Kat, I know you got involved in the last one. Would you tell us about who your pro was, what the attack was, and maybe you could share? Don't give any secrets away, but maybe just kind of the feeling of how the whole session went.
Okay, so we were having a session with Lexnos and talking about hybrid, because a lot of us are pretty rusty. We're using hybrid again, and need some tips and tricks on how to make our attacks a little bit more successful. We've been using super drags for quite a while, and the timing, you lose that timing with the spells and everything. So we sat there with him, and he was super patient with us and had a really good time. Did lots of FCs and gave us some tips and tricks on how to make our hybrids a little bit more successful. So we're supposed to do, I think, another session tomorrow, and then another one in a couple of weeks. So looking forward to those. And he's also done some other sessions with some of the other pros, covering different topics, and they've all been really enjoyable.
Now, what did he just do? One style of hybrid? Like, did he do Queen Charge, Flame Flinger into hybrid, or did he do Siege Barracks? What did he kind of say?
It was about a 1 hour session, so we didn't have time to dive into too many different types. He covered basically a Queen Charge with the old-fashioned Siege Barracks, just giving us tips on funneling and how to charge the town hall. Some pretty basic stuff, but for people who are perhaps new to hybrid or haven't used it in a long time, it was a really good refresher.
One of the guys in clan chat posted, Lexnos's best tip was, don't let the queen die.
It was also a lot of fun trying to figure out how to deal, when the enemy CC has super loons in it and super minions, because those things come out so fast.
That is a tough CC to handle.
Yeah. So, if you're not expecting it, and a lot of people don't use that when you're in war. So you're not necessarily, you might be expecting super minions, but those kind of hang back and you have time to think about it. But when those super loons come out, you have no time to think. You've got to be ready with your spells.
Agreed. So that's some of the Redthorn stuff. But our friend Fado, he's also had a pro session, but this one was more of a one-on-one. Is that right, Fado?
That's right. I found there was way too much silliness going on when I was sharing sessions with others. So, I wanted to get a one-on-one. So I actually went through Clash School and I picked Big Vale because I've actually watched a lot of his videos, and he seemed about the right mix for me and what I was looking for, and I really wanted to support him. And you go into it, you pay a little bit of money, and you get a set amount of time. You go to the server at Clash School on Discord, and you have your little private channel and whatnot. And BV, I simply can't say enough about like how helpful and encouraging he was. Because no, my goal isn't to become a pro. My goal is to get better. and he found some really good pointers. He really diligently watched me FC, and he kept putting certain bases up. He's like and not necessarily always leading the horse to water. And so I certainly got like things I thought I was bad at. He said, no, I actually like how you do that. It's this other thing that I wasn't really ever even considering.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So it's just something to work on. Like I'm not really all that successful in Legends. I'm certainly not all that successful in War. But I don't. I like trying to do hard things. I guess I make it harder on myself than it should be, probably. But at any rate, I'll give them props at the end too. But I highly recommend Clash School. It was a very easy process to go through from payment to setup to actually
Mm.
having the session and then and especially Big Vale, he's just so personable. And one thing that really struck me into the session was he just loves playing the game,
Ah,
and he really he gets into it becomes his problem what I'm trying to solve, and he really kind of took ownership of that and really wanted to help. So I don't know, I thought I can't recommend it enough if you've got a little bit of free time, because yeah, it's cool to kind of mingle with someone who's a content creator and has a following and all that, but someone who
you mean
also,
besides Cat and I, right?
well,
Yeah. Okay. Just checking. Okay. Sorry, Fade. Go ahead.
you caught me off guard, Peter. You you fado'd me. I'm I'm blushing and flustered now. Where was I? So yeah, at any rate, I couldn't recommend these enough, because if you really do want to get better, a lot of these guys have a lot of insights, and it's just like what I say at
Hmm.
work. Having a second set of eyes on things is a fantastic way to do some problem solving and learning.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've enjoyed the sessions that have been set up in Red Thorn as well. I did not get to take part in the Lex one. Unfortunately, I thought I wouldn't be home. I ended up being home, but it was just too late, and I didn't want to complicate things. But I'm looking forward to what's coming up.
Yeah. Well, and you think about, most of us are pretty casual players, kind of struggling through watching the various videos, trying to learn various attacks, but it's a game that we spend a lot of time in, and sometimes you just need maybe a little bit of help, and having the opportunity to sit down with one of these guys, and most of them, from what I've found, seem really happy pass on any knowledge they can give to people.
Hmm.
So kudos to all of them for doing these sessions, and thanks again to Saul for setting those up for Red Thorn.
May I ask, because I haven't been involved in one yet, how do you guys now feel? I'm going to ask this incorrectly, but do you think this is going to increase your enjoyment of the game again?
For me, I've been using hybrid with varied levels of success. So, because when you're hitting legends bases, it's most of the time you're hitting kind of ring bases and various.
And
They're,
trolley setups, yes, yes.
yeah, so it's not super effective. We'll let you know once I hit a few bases in war with it, and we'll see how well I do. But I think overall, it's just kind of, yeah, it makes me feel a little bit more confident with a different type of attack. That, I mean, hybrid was always one of my favorite attacks, and I got away from it because I wasn't having any success with it at all. So now it's kind of fun to go back to it.
And how about you, Fado? I mean, you were saying you like the challenge, you like to make things difficult for yourself. Is this going to help you move ahead? Like,
I'd like to think so. I haven't. I've had a little bit better success. Things are getting better, but it's not. It's certainly not the magic. It's not the miracle fix. I I do wish I had done the hybrid one though, because I did really enjoy hitting with hybrid.
Hmm.
I think in Red Thorn we're really lucky. We have some people that just some names that just jump right to mind with how good they are with Queen Charge into hybrid,
yeah,
and we're lucky we get to watch them.
Hmm.
And then I know one of them joined the pro session, so I'm really excited to see where he takes it, because he's already having so much success already.
agreed.
Yeah.
And just fantastic watching that, watching him just turn into a monster with it. And so I would probably start mixing it up. I don't I think I may just say, okay, for February, I'm going to finish with this Blizzard thing that I'm just failing right and left with, and then just kind of, see where I'm at, and then see if I want to just kind of say, okay, well, this month I want to just spend doing this attack strategy,
Mhm.
and see if I can learn by doing. So yeah, that's kind of my take on it.
Super.
Still lots of things to go over. Gosh, there were so many things happening this week. One thing that I wanted to talk about is Itsu just released a video talking about the security issues that players are facing in the game, and that's something that we had talked about on a previous episode, and a number of other podcasts and forums are discussing. He talked about how it seems a little bit rampant lately with people losing accounts for one reason or another, whether it's phishing or being hacked. He says one of the tips he gave was that if you just make a purchase, even a small one for $1 or $2, it just gives you another layer of security on your account, because it gives Supercell something they can refer back to, like, when did you make that purchase, right? So I thought it was really nice to see someone at his level addressing the issue.
Absolutely.
And one thing he did mention, though, was he did ask people to not tag the various content creators when these things happen, because they can't do anything to help you. It's
Oh, a point of order here. So I know
yes,
you
sir.
two are content creators, as Peter pointed out.
Okay.
Am I a content creator? Because
Absolutely, you are.
You
I I
are.
I get lonely, and so if they want to tag me, it might make me feel a little more important or loved.
Okay. Everybody tag Fado
Yes,
if you need
yes,
help.
Not necessarily going to get him help, but Fatal won't be nearly as lonely.
right. It's like you're helping me. I'm
Yes.
not. I mean, I'm not. I didn't say I'd help you. You're just helping me.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, so another thing that happened, see, there was a bit of a, well, I don't know if I'd call it, I'm not going to call it a huge update. Perhaps it was massive, perhaps it wasn't. They kind of surprised everybody by just out of the blue. Nobody was expecting this, dividing the Clash world into two sections. So they put one server with all of the players and clans in China. So they're all in a separate server, and everybody else is in the other server. So do we have any ideas on how it's going to impact gameplay? I mean, from what I can see, you can't see any Chinese clans in the Legends leaderboards.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a. Because I'm not striving to be at the top of the Legends boards, and Clash with Eric and Itsu also said, look at all these names have disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, and you posted this in our podcast chat, Kat, about how many clans from each country are C1 clans, and of course China is the top of that list. It's almost like
Mm-hmm.
they are acknowledging that that is their greatest single country fan base, and kind of putting them together. And maybe it is to get more diversity into the worlds. I don't know. Without being political, I think there's some controlling things that the Chinese government likes to have, and
Mm-hmm.
this may be also a part of it. I mean, Supercell is owned by 50 Cent.
50 Cent. What am I talking about? I must have Super Bowl halftime brain or something. 10 Cent owns Supercell.
So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, as in most things, there's always politics at play in various decisions. But I think, there's also various game issues. And perhaps, like you say, the worlds might have a small role playing in that, because, I mean, let's face it, most of the top players who make it to worlds are Chinese. Not all of them, but a good chunk of them. So does this give the rest of the world more of an even footing to have a chance to make it there? I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see how Champs 1 plays out in the upcoming CWL, because I'm sure that was completely loaded down with Chinese clans before, right? And
Hmm.
you might, you're probably going to see a lot more clans this way, in a way, a lot of different clans perhaps. But they haven't really clarified if that change to CWL last month is permanent. So
Right.
I think there's a lot of it felt like a trial balloon. And so with the Chinese clans being out, they're what, 600 something fewer Champs 1 clans.
Mm-hmm.
And so, obviously, there are a lot fewer Champs 1 clans. You'll see, you might see more of Japanese or Middle Eastern or what have you, than you have before, which I suppose could be interesting in a way. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I something was afoot, right? So we kind of knew some kind of update was coming. They announced the quality of life changes, but
Right.
then there was a maintenance break for 30 to 60 minutes there. Oh, we're just doing back end stuff. Well, it turns out that back end stuff was basically erasing China from Clash as we
Yeah.
know it.
Yeah. I know also one of the things that happened is when they did, the update, it kind of impacted some of the various base building services because the links to the bases, because the players were no longer on the same server, you couldn't access the bases that they had built and sold.
Wow.
So Supercell had to fix that as well. There's quite a few issues actually.
And Redthorn was in a war, and both ODS and I tried hitting their base number 8, and it just said, this base is unavailable to hit right now. Try again
Right?
later. It was just, I mean, it wasn't a super important war or anything, but if it had been, it would have
Yeah.
been very aggravating.
Well, there was one clan in the CFF. They had matched a Chinese clan, and when the update was finished, they could not attack any of the bases, and I guess the other clan wasn't able to attack them either. So I guess that goes down as a tie. But it's unfortunate when you're just waiting to start war and you can't do any of your attacks, right?
Yeah, that's disappointing for sure.
Yeah, and I think there was like people off your friends list went missing, and I don't know. There's a whole bunch of various issues that happened, and I think it would have been, I don't know why they didn't give some kind of a heads up that this was coming. Like,
Like we said before, it may not have been in their control. It may have just
yeah,
been an edict passed down, make it happen fast
yeah,
as possible.
that's true.
Although the 5-day SCWL kind of on the heels of that, it just, I don't know. I'm looking for a conspiracy theory, maybe just searching for it.
Probably out there somewhere. Let's talk a little bit about the various quality of life changes that they gave us. Heroes Extra Life. How does everybody like that?
Absolutely love it.
I
On
love
my
it.
little accounts, it's instantaneous hero. You can go right away again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm finding I can actually get my legend hits in a day.
If they could do that with CC requests, it'd be money because you could log on, do 2 hits, and then take another couple hours or however many hours off.
Right. Yeah, I know. I think that's something that I think people have been lobbying for a long time. So it's kind of nice that they finally gave us that. Let's see. What about the fact that you can sort your clan now? You can sort them by most trophies, highest town hall level, roles, last date they were active,
Again, I really
donations.
appreciate this one because I often don't know who is a Town Hall 14 and who is a Town Hall
Mm-hmm.
13, especially when SCWL comes around, and I'm just trying to count up what accounts to account for.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's going to be super helpful for me. I really like that one.
What about you, Fada? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to really help Peter with the organizing and you know, yeah, sorry, excuse me, it is Peter. Um, but some of this other stuff, it's I don't think it's as helpful for Red Thorn. We're
Mm-hmm.
highly active player base, you know, and I can see in other clans where it's like, geez, it's harder to even organize a spin or things like that. Ours is just like
Mm-hmm.
clockwork. So yeah, I can see where that would totally be helpful, and I'm kind of grateful. None of us seem to be in a place where some of that is as needed as it may be in other places.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure. One thing I noticed, so you used to be able to see, say for example, Peter stepped out of the clan or someone on the enemy side stepped out of the clan. And now you can't see that because the little icons in war where those shields are
Yeah, the badge
is just
disappears.
blank,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, it's not such a big deal in a random spin, but I know for perhaps clans that are in various leagues, it's kind of nice to know people are stepping out of the clan. I don't know. I just noticed it, and it kind of throws me for a loop every time I look at it because there's nothing in that column.
Right. Interesting.
It's kind of making my OCD crazy. So
Oh, that's good. That's good. I didn't know that.
yeah, and why? Because I check that all the time, right? So it's something that just jumped out at me right away. Let's see. What about the E-drag? I know this will be high on Carl over at C2J's priority list. The Electro Dragon's movement speed has been increased.
And in the nature of that, because I'm such a good friend of Carl's, I have used E-drags all day today, and I can say it has made no difference. I
No,
I can still not 3-star with E-drags, so
I thought you were going to say they're still super OP.
no, no, I would look, but I had many 1-stars. It was not a good day.
Yeah, OP
But
means out for Peter. Like
yes, no more. But Carl, you should still try them.
Well, he's going to have to.
Right.
What about any of the other changes to the sieges? There's some mini nerf to the battle blimp and a bit of a rework on the flame flinger.
Yeah, let me complain about this battle blimp nerf. Man, I mean that is it doesn't look like much, but that is a big deal. You can land a blimp on an air defense and now it survives. And
Oh, really?
some of the little nuanced things you used to be able to do with it, it doesn't it doesn't take out the things you thought it did. And so you got to be really careful when you're doing blizzards because number one, you really should be mindful that you don't suck with the comp. So that's been my problem. I'm working through that. But number two, yeah, I mean, if you're looking to create a path based on the blimp blast when it lands, you better figure out a way to make sure that your super whiz also get that building.
Interesting.
That is interesting because using it with the super drags, I haven't noticed a huge change. Although if it pops, it used to be if it popped just shy of the town hall, it might still activate it, but now it's definitely not.
Ah, okay.
So that can really mess up your popcorn super drag attacks. But yeah, I haven't really used much with the flame flinger lately, so I can't really speak to that one.
I do wonder if a bigger nerf is coming because it still seems a little broken. Looking at like the pros use it and oh gosh, what they do with it is crazy. But then again, I mean, a lot of things look broken in their hands, so maybe I'm getting a little bit over my skis on that. But if you're really careful in its deployment, I mean, you can take out so many important defenses at a really low cost.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of other little AI changes and plan game changes that people can pretty much read about in the notes in game. But one of the big things that I know everybody is pretty excited about is the music sound slider. So, question: sound or no sound in game, guys?
Oh. Well, my music goes to 11 in game, man. I just have that cranked up. So I did crank it down. So it's interesting. I left the sound effects up and I put the music at probably like, I don't know, 20, 25% because I like the ambient calming things that I need when I'm hitting because everything else is a mad scramble. And what I found is like when you're victorious or whatever, so it's really weird. That part is at the 25% volume, but like that like twinkle sound at the end is a sound effect. So that's you hear that at full
Blasting.
volume.
Yeah.
That's a little interesting, but I do actually like appreciate that change because just it shows that they're listening for feedback more than
Mm-hmm.
anything.
One thing I noticed, yeah, I did the same thing. I slid the music part down, but left the sound effects kind of high up. And I've noticed that I'm paying attention to the sounds. Like, say, for example, when the Archer Queen shoots her arrows, the arrows make a certain sound. And
Hey,
so,
really? Wow.
yeah, I'm really focused on that, and I think that's kind of cool because it's not something I normally paid attention to. And people might think I'm an idiot for saying that, but it's just kind of fun to listen to. I don't really care about the music so much, but the sound effects I think are kind of nice.
I do play with the sound effects on because I want to know when the CC pulls and those
Hmm.
kind of things. But beyond that, I never have listened to that music, Fatal. So I'm going to have to give it a try. Maybe
Because
not at 11, but
if
25.
everybody's done this, and let's all admit it, is you've been at work and your game pops on, or you've been somewhere where it's like really quiet, the game sound comes on, and it's unmistakable, that theme, right?
Oh,
In the
yes.
middle of her child's Christmas pageant, and then they're getting ready to do Silent Night, and she's just trying to get her last Legends hit in, and
Dun,
dun, dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun.
dun.
And you're like scramble to turn the sound down. But yeah, I just laugh when I think about that. Another really great quality of life changes is this Gold Pass thing, where it's
Oh,
going to
yes.
warn you about donating before you've got that little 1 gem donation thingy.
I am really looking forward to experiencing this in a week's time. Yeah, just a week's time now.
Yeah,
Because inevitably I log in the morning and someone has requested a battle blip, then I touch it and 30 gems, you dummy. What are you doing?
exactly.
So,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, I think that'll save everybody a lot of grief. And they've done a bunch of other little bug fixes and what have you.
Now, Kat, in your bug fiscus, I think you might have had a typo.
Oh
You
yeah.
said troops affected by the tornado trap will not have HP reduced. Now, I thought, oh my god, did that really say tornado trap? Because I read it as shrink trap. I went back and read the release notes.
Hmm.
I would love it if the tornado trap didn't hurt my troops. My bats, if I get caught in the tornado trap with this bat spells, they just die, die,
Oh
die. So
yeah.
that would be a lovely change. I would really like to see that if anyone's listening. So, yes.
I think that's just wishful thinking on my part, but it scared me when I saw Shrink Trap there. I'm thinking, please do not bring that back.
Yeah, that's been a couple years, eh?
Yeah.
That we've had that.
Yeah, it was one of their
Not
little.
long enough.
Nobody liked the shrink trap. Interesting. Yeah,
Well,
okay.
let's just like say this is the 10 years of Clash this year. So we can anticipate some interesting things this summer for Clash Anniversary, I'm sure. And I wouldn't put it beyond them to bring back every kind of weird little quirky thing that they gave us over the
Interesting.
past 10 years, including the shrink trap. So
Interesting.
be
Oh,
forewarned.
cat. Oh, jeez. You know, all the boys in Finland are listening, going, "Oh, they seem to want the shrink trap."
Let's add that.
No,
So that was pretty much it for the big update.
Could we
I'm
just
gonna
talk quickly about the February SCWL?
We can, because I know that's your
So,
favorite topic.
I was extremely aggravated because I had a perfect plan for 7 wars. You know, I had 18 people in this clan, 21 people in this clan. I had
Hmm.
some minis going other places, and then suddenly, no, it's only going to be 5 wars. Make the changes. So, thanks
Yeah,
to Magnus, he had a clan that we could use. We basically just went bare bones. You're in for the week. Make sure you get your 8 stars. It was a bit of a ugh. For me, but actually MB67 of the Magirian army, she had 134 accounts to reorganize and
wow.
redistribute. I actually
That,
liked the 5 week or the 5 day war. It was good. It was quick. I felt a little more engaged over it.
the grind when you get to wars 5, 6, 7, right?
yeah.
Five, you know, it hasn't got like by the time you're starting to feel like, more, it's basically over. And plus, filling the war CCs, every
Yes.
day, while managing super troops, that in itself is a bit of
Mm.
management. Now, luckily, we're running 15, so that means we technically have 35 spots for minis and whatnot to donate during CWL. But still, yeah, those those 2 last wars can go to the moon and stay on the moon for all I care.
Yeah. It would be nice. Like, I found the 5 war format better in terms of, yeah, you don't get that fatigue by the end of it. It really made every war count. Like, there was
Yes.
no cushion to say, well, we tanked this war, but we can get it back. There was not a lot of wiggle room involved.
That really is
Uh,
true. I think a couple months ago, one of the clans, I think it might have been TGF. Oh, maybe not. I can't remember which clan it was, where we lost a couple of stupid wars at the beginning. Just
mhm.
really inexcusable losses. And we still managed to win the group because we were just, we just knuckled down and said enough, and we beat all the clans we needed to beat. And we kind of eked out a promotion, but you're right, Kat. That it's going to be a lot harder to recover from a loss with two fewer wars.
So for SACWL, it's 8 days to the next one, and they haven't announced whether it's going to be 7 wars or 5 wars. So it's pretty hard for people to plan. Are we planning for 7 wars, Peter?
I have a plan for both. Yes.
Oh,
Yes. I haven't published anything. We were going to talk about a sign up versus
Mm-hmm.
just, letting people kind of go where they want, but I don't know what to do really. So I just prepared when it happens. Well, MB, one of the things she said, she wishes the star requirement was lowered for 5 wars in order to get your max medals. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Yes.
like the pressure of you still need 8 stars, but now only out of 5 wars. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
You gotta succeed to get the full reward. How do you guys feel?
yeah, yeah, Peter, I agree. I mean, in a 7 war format, if you're assuming you're in every one, that means you really only need 1 2-star to get the max rewards. And
Right.
we've been clashing a while. We all have higher standards of ourselves, whether we consider ourselves casual or not. So still eight is quite doable in a even in a week of CWL of 5 wars, even if you sit one. Um,
Yeah.
it should be attainable. Now you'll have slip ups, sure, and by the time you get to the 5th war, you got to be mindful of that as a leader, being like, okay, has anyone had that goof up, or is someone sitting at 7? If promotion, or if you're fighting for your life to stay up, or if you're angling for promotion, that gets a little harder. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're just kind of stuck in the middle, and you're treading water, and you're not in risk of going down, and you're also not going to get promoted, yeah, I guess at that point, as a leader, you want to consider, what, good person, good donator, active chat, blah blah blah. Let's make sure they get their extra medals. But even then, like, I'll say this, like, I'm getting close to a max 14, and I've got like 1,700 medals. So in a
Wow.
way, like,
Wow.
I only had, like, this month I'll cross over somewhere into the 2,000 range, and I guess I'll just start stocking up on some of the things I can buy with them. But you kind of get close to even maxing out medals, and then you wonder, well, now what's the motivation?
You got to get
Interesting.
that statue.
Please don't buy the statue. Those medals are too valuable. Town Hall 15's September. We think it's September. Hold out.
Yeah, just save your medals, Beto.
All right, so the Chinese flag it is. Kat, thank you.
Oh,
There you go. Sorry.
is that
So
still in
it's
the game? I wonder if it's still
yeah.
in the game. I gotta look and see if that's still there.
So I guess it's time for shoutouts. Beto, do you want to?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you very much to the generous Saul, who has been donating super wizards diligently as I fail downwards in Legends, and for setting up all of the training sessions. Shout out to all my clanmates who, believe it or not, I watch a lot of replays, and I am so impressed by what they do. They are not jerks in chat. They are not jerks in in any respect, and they support each other, and knock out great hits. That's just so cool. And then finally, back to Clash School, Big Vale. I definitely want to shout him out. He was really patient and just fun to spend some time with.
Very
Awesome.
good.
Peter, you're
I have a couple. I'd like to shout out MB67 for being an SCWL superstar. I can't imagine handling 134 accounts, so big shout out to her. Also to Magnus for being flexible with my clan needs and making himself available to let people in and out of clans.
He's been
And,
fantastic.
yeah. And to Raz, he and I have got a couple of Town Hall 7s, and we're just goofing around with that. So he and I are playing together. It's been fun. And to Miss P for not using her wall breaker in the Heartbreaker wall breaker war. And to my mom, who turned 77 today. Happy
Aw.
birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday, Peter's mom.
Happy birthday, Peter's mom.
My shout outs, oh gosh, I have a couple too. Definitely going to shout out Saul for everything he's doing for the clan. He's really been helping out a lot of people, and I really want to let him know how much I appreciate that. I want to shout out Carl for teaching me Skelly Donut.
Hey, yes.
Absolutely.
Even though I wasn't able to beat C Note for you, Carl, I look forward to watching your E-Drag attack when the time comes.
What, if I might interrupt, what a great bunch of guys they are.
Yeah. And that's my other shout out, is all the folks at C2J. They've been a lot of fun hanging out in our server, and we're hanging out in theirs and participating in our events. And a bunch of them joined us for our 500 war. So
Yeah.
huge shout out to all those guys over there. Too many of you to name. Much appreciated. And thank you everybody for listening. If you're looking for a great group of clans in either Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, or any of the other Supercell games, visit the Clash Files Discord to apply. As always, please send us your comments, ideas, and questions on Twitter at KGH Podcast, or join the Clash Files Discord at discord.gg/clashfiles.